So this video goes with the instructions for weekly assignments. The weekly assignments are divided into two parts. One is the individual part where you're working by yourself, and the second is your interaction online with the members of your discussion group. In the first part, where you're working by yourself, you would go through settling your mind to begin with, and I'm going to give you the basic mindfulness meditation instruction that will allow you to ground yourself and just have an open mind and some clarity. So the way to begin with this is to be able to take a good posture. And the posture is important because it will affect your breathing. So when you're doing this practice, for the first few minutes, you're not actually concerned with the assignment. You're concerned with being present. And that means checking in with yourself to see what it is that you are feeling, what it is that's taking place in your immediate environment. And when you do this, you have a sense of being here and being open to what is present. And as you begin to do that, you notice that your mind may wander. You notice that you have thoughts coming up. You may notice that you have feelings coming up. And when that happens, you bring your attention back to your breathing. And the normal breath is the anchor to being present. So you don't have to try to change your breathing in any way. All that you're going to do is take a good posture, notice your breathing, and be with the breath, stay with the breath for a few moments. When you find yourself distracted, then just come back to the breathing. Have a sense of open space and let your mind settle. So there's further instruction that would be possible that we can give you, and some of that is written in the text that goes with this. It's also possible to get in touch with me. I can give you more links to further instruction, or even communicate with you one-to-one in various ways if you're interested in mindfulness meditation. So each week you would begin the assignment by taking a few minutes just to settle in this way with mindfulness meditation. It begins then with going to the readings and doing what I've called in the practice exercise contemplative reading. And I recognize that you're not going to be able to do contemplative reading for every one of these readings, and that it would take too much time to do that. But even if you just do it once in a while during the term, you'll get more out of reading these texts. So when you read the text, you get a sense of what the author meant. And what you then do with this is go to the PowerPoint, having done the readings, and look at the summary that's there in the PowerPoint after you've done the readings, and especially the notes field under the slide. Those notes contain important information, as important as what's in the slide, and the exams are based on the slide content, the notes content, and the readings. So you will need to do all of it. The next thing to do is, when you've been through the PowerPoint, what you'll notice at the end is that there's a weekly assignment question. And that is the basis for your first journal entry. Now, the way to work with this, as it says in the attached instructions on Brightspace, is to hold the question. Just read it over. And again, try not to jump to your first reaction. And just sit with the question, reading it over several times. That will often reveal that there's more to this question than you might have initially thought. There may be questions about the question, and that might become part of your response. Having done that, then you sit with the question and pay attention to how you're responding at a deeper level. And this is called a felt sense. Some people call it intuition. Some people say it's knowing from the heart. But these questions are not simple right and wrong types of questions. They're questions where you have to be able to think on your feet, so to speak. You have to be able to think into the situation and the context and know what it is that matters most to you. And that's what this is going to bring out. So following the instructions that you can print off and review, you then take a few moments to determine how you're responding to this question each week. And then, by combining that with citations from the readings, you respond to the question. And I noticed from previous years and previous students that what happens over the first few weeks is that students get better and better at actually being able to integrate the readings with what's coming up for them. And they find out that some of these things really do matter to them. It's not just a means to an end to getting a grade. And it's not just about getting one answer. It sets up, you could say, a better awareness of your own values and what matters most. Having done that, you then finally begin to write this down. So then you would compose your answer in text and post that on Brightspace. Once you've done that by Thursday evening each week, then you would be checking from Thursday to Sunday night at 11:30 for other people's responses. And you will need to read everybody's response. The initial responses can be approximately 2, 3, maybe 4 paragraphs, 500, 600 words maximum. And the main thing is that you have taken the time to integrate your own response, which is more than just your own opinion, with the content from the readings. It's more than just your own opinion, because what you're being asked to do is make references to what I've said in the PowerPoints and in the notes field, also what's being said in the PDF documents and text files that are the readings. Once you've had a chance to read what other people have written, then you can respond to them. And this is, you could say, the second part of what you're being scored on: interaction, reflective inquiry. And what's different about this is you're still maintaining a kind of mindfulness, so that when you're reading somebody else's work, you're not just immediately setting up, oh, I agree, or oh no, I don't agree. You're actually wondering what it is they mean. And you may find that when you pause that way, that you have questions about what they're reading. What did they mean when they said ABC? Why did they say that? And again, you'll find this in the accompanying document. But reflective inquiry is not asking them to speculate on things that go beyond the question. It's not asking them, like, well, what would you do if you were the owner of your own company and you were trying to get people to practice some sense of spirituality in the workplace? General questions like that might be helpful, but not until you've made some kind of relationship with people and they actually believe that you've taken the time to understand what they wrote and why they wrote it. So you are essentially here using your first interaction as an inquiry to find out more about what they meant. And having done that, they will be looking online to see what other people have said, and they'll say, oh, somebody asked me a question about what I wrote. And they'll have a chance to respond to you, and then you can form a dialogue that might get into some of the speculative questions, and that's how new knowledge emerges. That's how you learn from each other, as well as the content that I'm providing and that the subject matter experts are providing in the readings. That kind of interaction is a little bit unusual, especially online, but you'll find that when you put together 8, 9, or 10 other people, you'll recognize that your point of view may be valid, but gee, there's a lot of people that have said intelligent things, meaningful things, then now I have to take that into account. So you might go back and forth 2 or 3 times with 1 or 2 people, and that's what we're really looking for. What we're scoring you on is, in the interaction part, is have you asked useful questions? And did you interact with them in such a way that it was helpful to them, that they benefited and that maybe you benefited from other people's questions? And with that kind of interaction, then you can earn full credit for that part of the assignment. Again, if you have questions about how this process works, please read over the downloadable PDF document or look at it online and see if you have questions that you can send to me by email, and we can take it from there and see if this makes sense. You will be able to get feedback each week. The teaching assistant and I will be not only scoring you, but telling you how we got to that score. And from that kind of feedback, you should be able to adjust your responses. And I think that enables you to move from just getting, a good grade, which is from St. Mary's University point of view, from the equivalent of 70 to 80, to getting an excellent grade, which from St. Mary's University's point of view is 80 and above. A lot of people expect A's in their course, and they think that they should earn that with a minimum amount of effort. Well, you'll see, to do excellent work requires that you really do interact with the other people in your discussion group, and you really do cite your sources from the readings and the text that's there with each module. Okay, please let me know, if you have any questions. Thanks for your attention and good luck with the course.